Dear students, that last class, yeah, we studied about end vertices, loops, edges. Okay, this class we study about simple graph, multiple graph, or multigraph, general graph. One more is the loop-free graph. Before that, let me tell you first, what is the loop? We know that things. When we write like for example, this graph contains A and B. A to A, if there is an edge, that is called loop, or B to B, if there is an edge, called a loop. And what is a starting point? For example, when I write this AB, starting vertex is B, ending vertex is B. So starting vertex is A, ending vertex is B. Okay, but if loops starting vertex is A, ending vertex is also same. Or if you say B to B loop, as you write B to B. Starting vertex and ending vertices are same, that is called loop. Simple graph means that graph doesn't contain loops or multiple edges. Any graph which doesn't contain a loop or okay multiple edges, that is called a very simple graph. It's not a complex graph. Very simple graph. Example through I tell you. Suppose this example you take ABC. Object is ABC. Okay, there is no loops as well as multiple edges. What is multiple edges? Suppose A to B one edge is there, A to B two edges if you are writing, that is called multiple edge, or three edges if you are writing, means more than one edges. Okay, example through I tell you, so the concept will be very clear to you. A, B, C. Okay, write a edge set. When I write a edge set for this, I'll write first A, B, B, C. While writing a AC, I write twice in edge sets. AC, AC. Because more than same edges are available, like AC and this. This is called multiple edges. Simple graph shouldn't contain any loops or multiple edges. This is a simple graph. Example for simple graph. First thing you check whether it contains a loop, then it is not a simple graph. Whether it contains multiple edges, then it is not a simple graph. If it doesn't contain loops or multiple edges, that is called simple graph. Next one, if you observe multigraph, what is that multigraph? Anybody can say? Graph which contains multiple edges but no loops, huh? That is called multigraph. Observe this example. Carefully observe it. This is A, this is B, this is C. Okay. Observe that when I write edge sets for this graph, vertex sets same A, B, C. Three vertices A, comma B, comma C. Okay. While writing edge sets A, B, okay, then B, C, then AC, yeah, AC, then this AC. So observe this very clearly, which this graph contains same edge twice or same vertex and vertices twice, two edges. So multiple edges concept is there, which contains a multiple edges concept is there in this graph. That is so it's called multi-graph. Remember, yeah, is it a multi-graph? No, because condition is very clear. No loop, it shouldn't contain a loop. But if you observe this, A to A edge is there, that's called loop. When I write edge sets for this, other same, but A, B, B, C, A, C twice, that all the things same. Along with that, A to A edge is there. So loop is it is not a multigraph. Multigraph is very important. Multigraph says graph should have multiple edges, but not loop. Specialization is only multiple edges. It should have multiple edges, and it's called multigraph. Next, another one is the loop-free graph. It shouldn't contain any loops. General graph. General graph means graph which contains multiple edges or loops or both. That is called general graph. Try to understand the concept. Simple graph is entirely opposite of general graph, because simple graph, please carefully observe this. Simple graph, he says graph doesn't contain loops or multiple edges. General graph is entirely different, which may contain loops, may not contain loops, which may contain multiple edges, or both also. Graph which contains multiple edges or loops or both, that is called general graph. Now, are you able to classify this? Another one is the complete graph. Complete graph is this. For example, complete graph, how many vertices are there? All vertices should be connected. That's called complete graph. If you observe this, okay, yeah, this is A, B, C. I call it as complete graph because three vertices are there. A to B, A to C edge is there, A to B edge is there. B to A, B to C edge is there, C to A, C to A edge is there. Means one vertex to one vertex contact is there. That is called complete graph. A simple graph of order more than two, which is there an edge between every pair of vertices, is called complete graph. Okay. This is also complete graph. A, B, all edges connected. In other words, I can travel from any vertex, okay, without any intermediate vertex, I can reach that vertex. Example through, I tell you. This is not a complete graph because B to C edge is not. In other words, this says very clearly, I can travel from in this graph any vertex to any vertex directly, or yeah, B to C directly edge is not there. If you put direct edge, then it's a okay complete graph. Now, yeah, I was explaining you about these things. Now, I will give some graphs. Okay, I'll give some graphs. Are you able to classify that which type of graph it is? Okay, just check it. A, B, C, D. Yeah. Which type of graph it is? Just think about that. Graph contains multiple edges because, yeah, B to, this is D, okay, A, B, C, D. B to C, two edges are there, multiple edges are there. Any graph contains multiple edges without loops, that is called multigraph. So it is multigraph. Next one, this is which type of graph? A graph doesn't contain any multiple edges or loops, that is called simple graph. This is simple graphs. Next one, this is a which type of graph? Observe this graph which contains wait. Yeah, this is which type of graph? Graph which contains a multiple edges. A to C is the A to C is the same way A to D is the A to D is the multiple graph, as well as graph loop is also there. This is a general graph, graph which contains multiple edges, loops or both.